Hello, today I'm going to be explaining what primitive types are in Python and how to use them. So before I start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to watch more videos like this. And before I start explaining, this video is meant to explain what data types are for people who are new to Python. So if you're just learning Python and you don't have an editor yet or an IDE yet, you can go to onlinepython.com, this URL over here that I just highlighted, and you can just easily compile Python code and you can try out what I'm showing you. And before I start, I'm going to be commenting. So actually, let's say I'm explaining what an integer is. I'm going to be commenting and I'm going to use hashtag. So everything behind this hashtag won't run when I run the code. So let's start off with what primitive data types are in the first place. So primitive data types are the most basic type of data in Java. And they're really easy to use and they're really easy to declare. And something special about them is that they're usually immutable, which means their value can't change after they're created. There's four main primitive types in Java. So the first primitive data type is called an integer, and it's represented in Python using the sort of abbreviation int. So if you want to create an integer, what you can do is you can do int, this int. It's a keyword, so usually keywords are highlighted in a certain color in some compilers. So int. Then you can give it any name. You can give it name like x, y, or like hello, or anything that you want. Number. But for now, I'm just going to give it a name x. The name doesn't matter because essentially, think of an integer just as a variable storing a certain value. And integers, what they can store is whole numbers. So for example, an integer can store 10. And as you can see, I wrote int next to the x. And however, in Python, you don't actually have to do this. You can actually just declare it as x equals 10. However, and this is usually the correct way to do it in Python. In other languages, you have to declare an int next to it, but this case, I'm just going to be showing you how it's usually done in Python. X equals 10. And and if you want to print it out, you can just print out x and you'll get 10. So this prints out the value of this. So now let's go to the next primitive data type, which is called a float. So a float is in Java is it shows a floating point, and this is more commonly known as a decimal. So let's say you make something called y. You make it equal to this is a variable called y. And you make it equal to 10.25. This would be a float because it's a decimal. And then you could print out y, and it'll print out 10.25. And I'm still printing out this x. That's why I printed out this 10 on top. But if I delete this print statement, it'll just print out the 10.25. So now the third primitive data type is in Python is booleans. So boolean. And what a boolean is it's a true or false value. True or false value. So essentially what I mean is that you could have something called, let's call it sky is blue. And I'm gonna put that to true because obviously the sky is blue. True. And make sure when you use a capital T when you're setting boolean to it's true or false. And then let's say I say grass is red, and I'll set that to false because grass is obviously not red. So now if I print out both of them, print out sky is blue, and I print out grass is red. Let me just stop printing this, printing y. I'll get true, so I'm printing out sky is blue first, and then false because I'm printing out grass is red. And the fourth and final type of primitive data type in Java is called a string. And a string is basically a sequence of characters. So this basically shows things like words, words and sentences. So a couple examples of a string. So one could be, let's say I call it hello. Then I just make it equal to hello world, which is like basically the default. It's like the first program most people do in Python, just printing out hello world. That's a string. Let's say I just create a string called x, or sorry, a string called x, and make it equal to um, by. It's by word. This is also a string. So a string can be multiple words, one word, or it can also be a single character. So say I have a character called let's see, num, or no, let's say random alphabet. And I'm just going to choose a random letter in the alphabet. So let's say I choose I. So if I print out all three of these, just print out hello, and then print out X, and then print out random alphabet, and let me take away these prints, the Boolean prints, run this, look at hello world, which I'm printing out first, I, and then I. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you learned something, don't forget to like this video and subscribe as always.